Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about using color within InDesign. First off, we need to go into the Windows panel and pull up the control panels for color. There's four options for color. I'm specifically going to talk about swatches for right now. And when you open up the swatch panel, it's basically like a little toolkit where you can put a color in there. You can always use a color at any given moment. It starts off with the Cmyk or cyan, magenta, and yellow and black. Those are the traditional colors that we use for offset printing. And then it also includes in here the red, green, and blues, which are the primary colors for using anything that's going to be projected or on a device, light-emitting device, such as a projector or handheld device or a computer or laptop screen, so on and so on. There's particular reasons when you want to use these particular colors, and then you can also create your own swatch, and we'll start with that first. If you go up to the hamburger menu at the top right corner of the panel and open it up, and there's a new swatch, right off first to bat. This is the easiest way to create a new color, and it opens up into another dialog box. This is the point where you can name the color if you'd like, or you can just have it with the numerical value. Here, the one thing you want to make sure that you're going to use correctly is the color mode. Again, this refers back to the Cmyk, RGB, or lab colors. Particularly, we're going to look at the Cmyk, RGB because these are the two most common ways that we can work with color, depending on what project we're working on. And again, if you're working with offset printing or commercial printing, Cmyk is the color principle you want to work with. And then if you're working with a device that's projecting light, such as a monitor or a screen, RGB is most effective in that use. Today we're going to look at Cmyk, probably because this may fall in line with the project that we're working with. Cmyk again is a combination between the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. You can see the percentage numbers here. It ranges anywhere between 0 to 100%. And when this goes to a commercial printer, it basically uses all four of these colors to make all the colors that you would represent in a rainbow or the options that you may have. If we were to put 0 across the board, you would get white because there's no ink, and that would be just paper white. If I were to put 100% black, you get black. Now there's a black in the printing process which is called a rich black, and a number of times a rich black will be actually anywhere depending on the printer. You have to confirm with them what their rich black is, but it can be like 20, 20, and 20. And this gives the black a little bit more richer color or richer appearance on paper. Again, this depends on which printer you're working with that those numbers may change. In this instance, I'm going to enter a particular number. This is where you can be very specific on a color and very accurate. I'm going to switch over to my document here. This is the college branding guidelines. And they have a very specific set of numbers for all their devices that they're working with, depending on what the project is. And if we zoom in here, there's 4 sets of colors in here. Pantone is a color process. It's basically a predetermined color that printers can use and say, like, if you want this particular color, its particular name is 3025C. At 45%, or this is 3052C at 100%. So you can change the percentage of this in order to get different colors. But the Pantone is effective for being able to say this is the actual color we need, and they can mix the colors, and it becomes it would match identical to the swatch. But in this case, we're just going to go a easier route. We're going to do the Cmyk number, which is the CMYK number is equivalent to the Pantone number, except for the fact that it's still mixed, but it doesn't actually come with a Pantone name. It's just a regular number. So you might want to take a pen or paper, write these numbers down that you need. And they also give the RGB numbers for all the colors when you're working with an RGB space. It also gives you hex numbers if you're working within a web space, web safe colors. So I've written these numbers down. I want to use the Triton blue and the accent green in this case. And I have the numbers written down, so I'll come back over here to my swatch panel. Simply enter the numbers. It's always going to be in CMYK, K being black. So 100, 65, 37, and 21. And that is the college primary blue, and you can also again rename the swatch. So Edmonds blue, and then I want to say OK, and it is in CMYK, and it adds a swatch to the bottom of the panel here, and I'll do it again one more time, and this time I'm going to change the value to the green, which is 46, 0, 100, 0. And that is the Edmonds accent green according to the numbers that they have listed on the branding guide. So Edmonds green, or just name that like that. So, and then you have the colors all set to ready to go. If I were to draw a shape real quick, there's one shape. There's the Edmonds green. Copy the other one, and then I'll just change that simply to blue. So there you have it, a quick and easy way to effectively work with color and work with a color that's already predetermined. The next one I want to show you is in the Windows, Color, and what's called the Color Themes. Color Themes is a robust way for designers to work with colors and design and choose a custom color. Here we have the color wheel, and there's a couple ways to work with this wheel. I'm going to first start off with the color rule. There's always a rule within color of which colors that you're using, and that can range between, they have 6 of them here, 6 of the common ones between analogous, monochromatic, triad, complementary, compound, and shades. And then you can customize your own color based on the rules. There's one color rule they don't have on here, which is one of my favorites, which is called split complementary, which I have laid out here. But we're just going to go through here. We'll start off with monochromatic first. That might be the easiest one to start off with. So whenever you choose the color rule, it will come up with these arms here that kind of allow you to kind of move around. It keeps the rule. If you remember the rule from monochromatic, it's one color, and then it works all its way down to the center, which keeps, which aligns with the color rule. But you see the 5 swatches are different colors. They are, but they're monochromatic because they all live within this space here. So if I were to select one of these, I can select any one of these, and it shows you where they're at. They're kind of stacked on top of each other. And let's say this one here. So there's the one in the middle, which is called the base color, your primary color that you've chosen for the project. And then the other 4 colors are associated with it are the ones within the rule. So for instance, if I were to choose this one here, whoops. Let's see what happened here. I choose this one here. That one, sorry, set my primary color. You can change the primary color if you want to just select the arrow up here. Mine got changed a little bit. I want to expand it a little bit more, and I want to choose the color next to it, but not make it the primary. And it shows up where it's at, and you can see that the others are kind of tucked underneath there. I want to put this one closer to the white here. Now you can see that the arm starts to move a little bit, and it gets a little jiggly. And this is something I'll address in a little bit. And with the color, so I have this set of color. I want to just kind of leave it right there for right now to kind of show you the three color range here. You can adjust the shading or the midtones of the color by, again, actively selecting just one of the colors, and you can change it by using the slider at the bottom here. This is a easy way to get like a shade or a different tone of the color, and then these offer the tint. Let's see if I can find this one here real quick and pull that out. There we go. So it gets a little tricky here. I want to switch over so you kind of get the idea of how to work within the colors and the panels. I want to switch over here to a complementary color set because I think this sometimes is easier to understand. If I spin the wheel, no matter what I have, where I go, it kind of gives me the color complement, which is going to be the opposite of the wheel. Here's my base color. I want to take the base color. I want to play with it a little bit here and expand all my colors out. See, I want this one to be a little bit brighter, and then or on the outer edge of the wheel, and then I'll take this one here and I'll just put this up on the edge of the wheel here. And again, these are this calculator is a very accurate way of making sure your colors are correct. I want to make that a little bit brighter. And so I have a nice range. I'll just leave it right here. Maybe I'll just move this one down for demo purposes. So this would be constitute as a complementary color set. Kind of gives you a different range. You can use any of these colors in any combination, and you get contrast. Now, the one thing you might want to think about here is that you can actually add all these colors to the swatch. So it's an easy way to have this color programmed. And one thing I want to show you before I add it to the swatch is that I want to show you the slider version of this. So we see the wheel version, and this is the slider version of this. It's again back to the same numbers that we were working with earlier. So for instance, if I was working in a Cmyk set, this particular green in the left side is 87, 39, 44, 11. And what I always like to use this set for is that to know what my base color is, because if because the knowing the base color helps guide what the other colors, what happened with the other colors. So for instance, this is my base color. I want to go back over here to my wheel, and remember when I started moving this thing, if I start wiggling this thing, it goes in different directions. That's moving away from the actual base color. So if you want to make sure that your base color is accurate and the same color all the time, simply go over to the slider, and so you can see my base numbers all kind of got moved around a little bit. And we'll go back to the wheel real quick and say that, kind of rearrange that a little bit. Not it right there. Before I do anything, I always go to the slider and I write these numbers down, because that way, if I ever need to readjust it and verify it, I have the numbers documented somewhere, so I don't have to remember it or rely on the computer. Because partly is that if I go back to the wheel and I'm just going to make it move around again, my base color is no longer what I assigned it. You can see it's gone from more green to blue. If I come back here, I can simply just enter the numbers again as long as it's written down. 27, 0, 4, 4, and 0. And it brings me back to my original base color. Now, the other part is that it does, and again, I can always change, sorry, something just happened here. I just accidentally pushed the key that kind of got me in a different direction, but maybe I'll just use it as a demo. So again, 27, 0, 4, and 0. Let me make sure that's all black. There we go. And then from here, once I get make sure my colors are accurate, the colors did change and move around, but at least I got my base color, and I'll just kind of leave it there for finish up with the demo. You can add these to your swatch panel. Bring the swatch panel over here. You'll see it'll just get added to the bottom. And then there's all the colors within that theme. There's your base color, and then there's the colors on the left and right side. And again, you can simply just choose the easy part is they can switch the colors around accordingly. And then again, if you're using a complementary color set and you need to be accurate, the color is always going to be, these are always going to be contrasting to each other, as well as the other colors in that set. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.